Can you guys hear me? How's everybody doing? In my field of work, we say high energy equals high income. So we gotta do this again. How is everybody doing today? You guys sound a little bit better. Let's try it one more time. How's everybody doing today? Awesome, awesome. So I definitely want to give it back to my dear friend, Mr. Lyndon Charles. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. So my name is Ashton Henry, and as Lyndon said, I'm... that was kind of weird. All right, great. So my name is Ashton Henry. I'm originally from Grenada. Any Grenadians in the house? We got one. That's all it takes, one. Right?
We got two.
We got two. Anybody else? We got three. Anybody else? No, everybody want to be Grenadian? All right, great. So, guys, I came to the United States in 2004 on a soccer scholarship. I played Division I soccer in New York. Started playing professional. I got injured in 2008. Moved to Miami to do rehab. And I ended up building my life here. My first job here in Miami, I actually worked construction. Anybody ever did a job just to pay the bills? No, you guys in college still, right? Anybody have jobs? Anybody here from the islands? Anybody parents from the islands? Right? So I want you guys to really listen to my story because, coming from Grenada on a soccer scholarship, I literally came to America with $257 in my pocket 15 years ago. And I remember coming here and not really knowing where I was going. 6 months into my scholarship, I actually lost my scholarship because the coach that brought me to the United States, he took a job at a different college, and the new coach gave my scholarship to a new kid that he brought with him. So I had two options. One of those options was to, one, go back to Grenada, or two, find a job on campus. And the only department that was actually hiring was the janitorial department, right? Now just imagine being a soccer player, being the captain of the school team, and having to clean toilets after practice. That was my reality, and in college, guys, you guys trying to talk to every girl and whatnot, and just having to go clean toilets, but I remember calling home and asking for help, and nobody was able to help me. I remember my dad telling me that it will cost him almost $3 to send me $1, and I had to figure it out. So I cleaned toilets to pay my way through college. And you see, I'm sharing this with you guys because a lot of times people see your success, but they have no idea what you actually went through to get where you are right now in your life, right? And absolutely. So I remember when I just moved to Miami, I came here on an F1 visa. I didn't have the legal documents to work here, and I remember getting a job. On the weekends I would play soccer, and then during the week I would have a job working construction. And I remember one day I was getting the bus, and I called Lyndon, and he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for the bus to go to work. And he said, why are you doing that? I'm right here. And I definitely got to give it back to Lyndon because every single day from that day, that gentleman picked me up, dropped me on South Beach, and then went all the way to Kendall to his job. So definitely want to give it up to him. Right? And you guys are going to need people like that in your life. People that's going to believe in you when you can't even believe in yourself. People that's going to believe in you when things are down. Okay, so my whole topic today is about the young lady who spoke just before me. She talked about you guys being the future. You guys being the next generation to go out there and build successful careers here in the United States. One thing I can tell you guys, coming from the islands, every single person in here already know that you guys have impeccable work ethic. Yes or no? You guys work hard, right? Right? So let me just jump into this presentation. So my name is Ashton Henry. Again, I'm the founder of Ashton Henry Financial. I have a tax business. I also help people with their finances. Also the real estate investing. I'm also an author. I just published a new book. Now this is where it all started for me, right? This is me in 2004 in Iowa. Yes, exactly. I went from one extreme to the next, right? Hot sun to where they actually make snow, right? And I went to school there for 2 years before I transferred to New York. That's me, yeah, when I was in shape. So that's where I played Division I soccer. And I got my bachelor's degree there. And this is actually one of my best friends from college. And he's from Jamaica. And that was actually my best friend in school. And the ironic thing now is he's actually one of my business partners in one of my business ventures, right? So this is where it started. I want to share you guys, it doesn't matter where you're starting from, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it doesn't matter if you have an accent, it doesn't matter if you have dreads, it doesn't matter if you got a scar on your forehead. Guess what? None of that matters. It's all about what you put your mind to. Are you guys with me? Right? So, moving forward, I want to talk to you guys about going out there and just hustling. Going out there and going after what you want. Understand that nobody can stop you from being successful. Only you can stop you. You control your destiny. Now, a lot of times when we hear the word hustle, a lot of times, there's a negative connotation towards the word hustle. Yes or no? People think about selling drugs, right? Automatically, right? Hustle to me is going out there and putting in the work, creating a reality for yourself. Are you guys with me? Right? Now, again, to have the courage, the confidence, the self-belief, self-determination to go out there and work until you find or create the opportunity that you actually want. That's what really hustling is all about, right? And just in line with hustle, you guys just know that Nipsey Hussle just passed away, and I never used to listen to his music. I just listened to reggae most of the times, but from his passing, just listening to his music, I'm like, man, this guy is talking some real positive stuff. He created, even though he came from a drug infested with guns, and that was his reality. But he still turned it and created a successful business for himself that's going to continue living after he's gone. Yes or no? Right? So, what does the hustle blueprint look like? First of all, the H to me stands for how you begin your journey. Right? Everyone has a story. Yes or no? How you begin that story. I just showed you guys how I shared my story. The you got to utilize what's unique about you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You got to use whatever your talents, your gifts are, you got to use that to create a successful business for yourself. The S stands for stand in your ground and stay the course. A lot of times when we start, especially when it's something new, we get discouraged. Our friends or even our family members might discourage us from becoming successful or trying to do the things that we want to do because they have no idea how to do it. So they will discourage you. Understand that what your parents did, that's not what you have to do. I love my mom to death, but I'm not taking business advice from my mom. Right? And I remember, even when I started business, I used to work at a college here in Miami. After working construction, I started working at Brown Mackie College. I was an admissions representative there. It got to a point where I was the #1 admissions representative in the school, but it got to a point where it's always more bills than money. And I got tired of that. The school tried to bribe me. They started paying for my master's degree. All that to keep me in the school. But I decided I needed more for my life because at the end of the day, again, it was always more bills than money. So I decided to walk away from my job. And when I shared it with my mom, you know what she said? She said, what's going to happen to your benefits? I'm like, what's benefits? I'm paid for that. I literally stopped talking to my mom for almost 6 months. Not that I didn't love her, but every time I'm speaking to her, it's something negative. What's going to happen to this? What's going to happen to that? And I just had to cut her off. So I got to a point where I would literally, and again, I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to stop talking to your parents, right? What I did was, again, every time she called me, it would always be something about that job that I already left, right? And I had to block her out mentally because I needed to focus on what I wanted to do. So I walked away from that job and I started a tax business with no real true experience. I learned how to do taxes. And again, island people, we just figure things out, right? Absolutely. So, the T stands for transforming yourself to greatness. It doesn't matter where you're getting started. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the investments in yourself if you want to become successful. You got to transform yourself, right? The L stands for leverage your life experiences. I mean, I have so many different life experiences from, Linda knows about this, where, this scar on my forehead actually came from someone hitting me with a machete. And when I was 19 years old, I was taken for someone else. I got hit with a machete in my face, and I almost died. And the crazy thing is, I literally spent a year, I wasted a year trying to get even. I went in this really dark place mentally, and I remember 3 different occasions I tried to take this person out. And each of those occasions, something happened that led to me not, hurting him. And what actually did it for me was one of my friends. We were going, how many people here from St. Vincent? I got one Vince here, cool. So, crazy story, right? We were actually supposed to go to St. Vincent to sell marijuana, right? And I couldn't make it. Right? I'm just sharing a story with you guys. That's my reality, right? That's my story. But I couldn't make it because I was also playing for the country's national team. But you know what ended up happening? My friend went, and we were both supposed to go, and he got murdered. And that was a wake-up call for me to change my life. Not focus on that one negative thing that happened. You see, a lot of things are going to happen in your life, and what most people do is focus on that one negative, but never see all the positive that they have going on. Right? So what I decided to just focus on playing soccer. I went from a mediocre soccer player to being one of the best soccer players in my country. When I was 16 years old, I was already playing for my country's national team. Already getting national recognition. And the E stands for establishing and executing excellence. Okay? Now, this picture right here, so how you get started, right? This picture right here, to the right, I'm the third person from the right. My right. I'm the third person from the right. The kid in front of me, his granddad owned the team. He wasn't a part of the team, he was just a mascot. I was about 15, I think I was about 15 in that photo. His granddad owned the team, and he actually stole one of his granddad's cleats and gave it to me because my parents couldn't even afford the cleats for me. And the crazy story behind that is that after I got my scholarship and come to the United States, I was also able to help him get a scholarship. He came here, he got a bachelor's degree, and now he's working on his master's degree. All right? So I went from, dreaming in Grenada to winning a national championship in America. Right? It started in Grenada, right? And a lot of times, especially with soccer, back in the islands, back then, most people you're not going to go far with sports. You're only going to get is a broken foot, right? So I had to fight through all that and keep pushing for my goals and dreams because it's my goals, my dreams. Don't let anybody deter you from your goals and your dreams, okay? So everything starts with your mind, guys. Everything begins in your mind. So first thing that you got to do is you got to believe in yourself. How many people here believe in themselves? I'm going to ask that again. Put your hands down. How many people believe in themselves? Because guess what? If you're not raising your hand, you're not doing me an injustice. You're doing yourself an injustice. Understand that all the energy that you put in, that's for you and your life. Right? But the first thing that you got to do is believe in yourself. Secondly, you got to commit to growth. So many people go to school, get a degree, but never pick up a book after college. Because you feel you're just going to hang your degree. Guess what? You're competing with people that already have master's degree, that already have bachelor's degree, that already have PhDs, that already have work experience. So you gotta be able to stand out from everybody else. What's going to be that unique thing that's going to make you stand out from everybody else, right? You got to improve daily. So you got to work on yourself daily. You got to take charge of your life. Understand it's your life. You got to hold that pen when you're writing that story of your life, okay? You got to have goals. People with goals move fast forward in life. If a ship is headed somewhere with no direction, guess what? It's just out in the ocean, no direction. But when a ship knows it's going somewhere, they have just like you having your GPS in your car. If you just get in your car and start driving, you don't know where you're going. But you have a GPS, you know exactly where you're going. Guess what? You have a path that you can take to get you there. Right? Start from point A to point B. Like, I didn't know where I was coming this morning. I put in the GPS, but guess what? I'm here today. Right? You got to model successful people. So many people hang around negative people that's not contributing to their life. You got to get around people that's doing something. You got to get around people that's successful. Because guess what? Success leaves clues, and something about what they're doing could actually rub off on you. You guys with me? You got to read books outside of college. It's not just about your textbooks. Self-development, personal development, motivation, business, marketing. Right? How many business majors we have in the room? Business majors? All right, great. So again, it's not just about what you learn in school, because it takes you 4 years to get that degree, right? Guys, the world is moving fast. By the time you graduate from college, what you just learned is obsolete. The world is moving so fast. So you got to stay up to time with everything that's happening. You got to have a strong why. My why was making sure that I can take care of myself and my family. My why is making sure that when my dad called me, when my mom called me, when my grandma called me, I can send them money, and I have to be worried about how I'm going to pay my bills after I send them money. How many people got family back in the islands? How many people family calling? You guys know that your family members think that you're rich, right? Right? Exactly. So imagine, after you finish school, I remember my dad would be like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm studying. He's like, when are you going to get a job? When are you going to send me some money? Because it's almost like, you come to the United States, they feel like you're picking money off trees or something. Until they themselves come here and it's like, wait, this is really hard. I say America is a great divider, because a lot of people back in the islands whose family has name and has prestige and all that, once you cross that water, everybody starts from zero. Everybody starts from zero, right? So what's going to make you separate yourself and become successful is your work ethic, what you put into it, right? So you want to utilize your uniqueness, right? So you want to have everyone has a unique gift from God. Everyone. How many people believe that? Right? Everyone has a unique gift. So you have to harness that gift over time, right? You have to figure out what you're good at. And you work on what you're good at and not necessarily what weakness. You got to embrace who you are, discover discipline, and dedicate your gift to further, so you can actually do your own personal development as time goes on with your journey. You got to believe in your destiny. You got to start with the end in mind. So even though you're here right now, you're going to have fun. Have fun, but understand that in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, you got to already have a vision for your life. Because if you don't have a vision, guess what? You're already there. You got to start seeing yourself out of college and going and, starting a job or starting your own business or whatever it is that you want to do successfully. Right? Guys, this is my first house where I lived in Miami. I moved to Miami, and this is right by Tootsie's. Everybody knows who that is, right? Right? So I was on 183rd, and this is my first home. This is where I live. 7 years ago? 7 years ago, right? And when I just moved in, I didn't care about anything else. All I wanted to do is just make sure that I have a roof over my head so I can take care of my family, right? But what happened was, I didn't realize I was staying in the hood because I'm not from here. So quickly, me working out of college and living there, I quickly realized that I became a target because people started breaking into our place. Constantly. I remember my son, when he was born, 6 months old, someone broke into our place, and it was right where my son would be sitting, where we would have the bounce house or whatever. And they broke him into our apartment, and it was devastating for me. Again, I just went into defend mode, like, okay, I got to defend my family and find who is doing whatever, right? But then I was like, you know what? Let me just move. But it got to a point where after I left the college and started my own business, things didn't go as I wanted, as I thought it would go as planned, right? Nothing go as planned, just so you guys know, right? So it got to a point where the lights got turned off. I couldn't pay my bills. We ended up having to move back into my in-laws' house. But I remember that day when that guy came, the FPNL guy showed up to take off the power. And I told him, I said, hey, just give me 5 minutes so I can make some hot water so I can put in a thermostat so I can feed my son later. And he said yes, but you know what he did? He just walked to the side of the house and turned off the power. I got so pissed off. I'm from the island, so I got a machete. So I walked outside and I was like, man, you told me yes, And I felt hurt. But that day, I literally went back inside the house and I started crying. Like, I felt so low. It was at my lowest. I felt like I couldn't even take care of my son. And I started crying, and I said, you know what? I would never put you in that situation again. But one of the most demasculating things happened to me where I have to leave, our place. It was still our place to move back into my in-laws' house. Right? This is where I live now. Right? So just thinking about it, I've been here 15 years. Right? Yeah, I got some extra rooms. Right? But again, it's the story. It's where you started has nothing to do with where you're going. Right? Right? So again, don't compare yourself to anybody. Once you start comparing, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20. You got to start where you are, work hard, so you can achieve your goals, right? So I want everybody to say this to me. I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
You got to say it like you mean it. Because again, everything starts within, right? So let's try that again. I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
You guys sound a little bit better. Let's try that again. Right? Keep that in mind because again, the world is going to test you. Things are going to happen. You have to keep that in mind. So the S stands for stand your ground. This is one of my business seminars that I have on Tuesdays in Miami. So you guys, consistency is key. You got to stay consistent. Things are going to go up, things are going to go down. But once you stay consistent and you expect that, you already know things are going to happen, you know how to react to it, okay? Never quit on you. People are going to quit around you. Never quit on you. That's going to be what's going to make or break you in life. Never quit on yourself, right? You want to give 100% at all times. Even if you work for someone, you want to give 100% because it's not about what they're doing for you. You got to see how much you can give to that establishment because all this is just experiences that you're getting. You might start working for somebody else now, but next thing you know, you have your own business, right? And you will not be able to teach somebody how to be their best self working for you if you weren't able to be your best self working for somebody else. You guys with me? So it's all a process. You know, again, you got to stay committed, right? You have to have a winning attitude. Winners win when others just try harder. You got to have a winner's mindset. You can't win if you're thinking about losing. You can't win. You can't win at life. You can't win at anything if you're already going in with a negative state. So you have to be coming from a positive, right? Transform it to your greatness. Each of us has a unique seed of greatness within us. Each of us. You have to take some time to figure out who you are, especially now while you're in college. Because most of us are being persuaded or influenced by the people that you spend the most time with. Make sure that you're not doing something because somebody else is telling you to do it. You want to do that. Make sure you know who you are. Because again, if something happened, they're not calling that person. You are responsible for every single thing that you do. Okay? Again, you want to plant your seed, you want to nurture your seed, and you want to allow it to grow. Just like when I started my business, I had to go in there. People would be laughing at me. I'm in front of Walmart, passing on cards. I'm walking across the street, handing people my cards, and everybody would be laughing at me. But I knew that I was going somewhere and I was building something. Now, when I started doing taxes, obviously I had no clients. I started with my family members and a couple friends. Now we have over 7,800 tax clients with 3 locations. Right? And it started from me finding a CD that said tax preparation in a parking lot, and I just put it on a computer and just started learning how to do taxes. I found this guy that did taxes. I said, hey, can you teach me? He said, yeah, sure. I started working for him, and then I quickly realized that he was paying me $25 to do a tax return, while he was charging the clients $800, $700. So here's what happened. After I got good at doing taxes, we strike a deal, and I said, okay, you're going to pay me 60%, and you're going to keep 40% because that's your office, right? I quickly realized that he was actually keeping 60 and giving me 40. In 1 month, he stole $120,000 from me. 1 month, $120,000. So I decided, you know what? I can focus on the negative, or I can focus on everything else that I have going on. So what did I do? I walked away and started my own tax business and took some clients with me. And now we have over 7,500 clients, right? So this was last Tuesday. This was last Tuesday. So basically I started helping people with credit, finances, and I helped this gentleman, and one of his employees started talking about me, and he invited me to do an interview. This is the gentleman right here. He's Grant Cardone. He's a multi-billionaire. Okay? If you guys don't know who he is, he's Grant Cardone. You can Google him. And basically, he did an interview with me, and he placed it on his YouTube channel. And the executive producer for Steve Harvey saw the interview, contacted me, and said, hey, we need somebody to come speak to our people about finances and credit. Okay? He said, typically, here's the ironic thing. He said, typically, it's Caucasian people that has those jobs in the past. So what made me stand out was, one, I can help with your credit. Two, I do taxes. Three, I do real estate investing. So why don't we just looking for somebody to talk about one thing? I came with 3 different things. Right? And as a result, I've been on the Steve Harvey show now 3 times. In the last 2 months. I'm actually scheduled to go back on the 30th of this month. Again, helping people with their credit, their finance. So crazy. You see, Steve Harvey has a book in his hand, right? Yeah. So when I was on the show, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people. I didn't realize what was about to happen. So literally, from that first airing in February, on the 2nd of February, 36,000 people emailed me from the area, right? So I was like, me thinking about business, I'm like, what can I do to capitalize on this in a different way? In 30 days, I wrote a book, all right? And I actually have the book right here. And here's the thing, right? A lot of you guys, this might go over your head, but some people might actually already be in that. So it's a book about credit, and it talks about the chemistry of credit. When I came to the United States, nobody educated me about credit. Wells Fargo showed up at the school. I got a credit card and a t-shirt. I bought a pair of soccer cleats that day with a credit card, and the rest of it I spent it at a bar. All right? So you guys know I didn't pay that bill, right? So this book, when he shared it as well, 26,000 copies sold in 2 hours. All right? So you guys can get this book as well. To again, just give you the knowledge that you need with credit, how to be able to establish your credit, and all those good things, right? So say this with me. I speak with power.
I speak with power.
I will have what I say.
I will have what I say.
My words have power.
My words have power.
I am what I say I am.
I am what I say I am.
Anything that you put in front of, behind I am, will dictate your life. So you got to be very careful of what you say to yourself. Understand that when you say something to yourself, guess who's listening? You. So you always want to speak positively about yourself. As human beings, we are naturally programmed to think negative. Just because of all the negative things that you see around us. How many people here watch the news? You got to stop watching the news. If it's that important, you're going to hear about it. Right? You can't allow negative energy to filter into your life. Especially, you think about it. First thing in the morning, you're watching the news. What do you think your day is going to look like? All you're thinking about is negative. Right? So again, say this one more time. I speak with power.
I will speak with power.
I will have what I say.
I will have what I say.
My words have power.
My words have power.
I am what I say I am.
I am what I say I am.
So leveraging your life experiences. Again, going through when I was... So once I started establishing myself and building up, I always remember the people that helped me. Right? I always remember somebody helped you get to where you are. So you always want to be grateful and operate from a grateful state and always give back from where you come from. It doesn't matter what your environment is. I have no problem telling people my dad used to use drugs. But I made up my mind a long time ago as a kid that I'm not going to use drugs. I'm going to create the reality that I want in my life, for my family, for my son. Right? So one of my life lessons is just always give back. So after being here for a while, I went back. This is actually his grandfather right here. And I actually bought soccer t-shirts, soccer cleats for every team that I played for, from high school, primary school, college, my club team. This gentleman up here at the top in the white hat, when I was in college, and I called every single person in Grenada, he was the only person that helped me. And I always told him back then, I'm going to repay you one day for helping me through this process. I remember going to school in Iowa and literally having the lights turned off in the winter. You know what I had to do? I literally had to go to the laundromat, take everything that I owned as far as clothes, put it in the dryer, make it hot, put it back on me, and go home and take a nap. Because we didn't have power. And again, you're going to go through things, you're going to go through different obstacles, but it's not about what's happening in your life. It's not necessarily happening to you, but it's happening for you. Because that's going to help you build your character. That's going to help you build your strength. That's going to help you find out who you really are and what you're really made of. Right? So I was able to go back home. And, I just feel so proud to be able to do that because I remember where I started. I remember when I didn't have anything. I remember the people that actually helped me. So again, you got to leverage your life lessons to help you even become more successful. Alright, so say this with me. I will use my life lessons as fuel to ignite my hustle.
I will use my life lessons as fuel to ignite my hustle.
Let's try that one more time. I will use my life lessons as fuel to ignite my hustle.
I will use my life lessons as fuel to ignite my hustle.
Again, it doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't matter how many times obstacles come your way. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. All that matters is how many times you're going to get back up. Because you already know life is going to happen, right? I remember fresh out of college, I'm graduating from an Ivy League school. I'm all excited about it. And I go out there and I'm like, wait, why am I working construction? But guess what? I had to do something to pay the bills. Because when I graduated from college in 2008, guess what? That was like the worst time to graduate because everybody was losing their jobs. You remember what happened in 2008, right? Depression, right? Everybody was losing their jobs. And I remember even applying for that job at the college, they asked me, how much do you need? How much do we need to pay you? And just to get in, you know what I said? I said $28,000. And the real reason why I said 28 because I figured, since nobody's getting jobs, let me just get in at a low level and work my way up. So they came back with an offer and they gave me $38,000. So I'm all excited. I'm like, yes, I'm winning. Then I got to realize the highest person, the closest person, excuse me, the next closest person to me in terms of income was making $96,000 a year. In 3 months, I became the highest producer at the college. So imagine how that felt. They ended up giving me a $5,000 raise, but it was not enough. And after getting exhausted, just working hard, I decided to venture off and just do my own thing. So again, you want to eat, you want to establish and execute excellence. Right? Excellence is in the mind. The mindset of a winner. Excellent over experience. Excellence is what turns the hustle into extra income, extra growth, and an extraordinary life. Everything that you do, you got to be excellent. You never know who is looking. I remember one of my coaches would always say, even if you can't play good, look good. Because you never know who is looking. You never know. You might be at a job and you're giving it all you got, not really paying attention that the supervisor watching you, the owner of the company watching you. That could be the reason why you get a raise. Always make it a point to be a part of what's actually happening in your surroundings. Okay? This is my wife and son. And my son is 7. This is my wife, Ebony. And again, that's me being on Grant Cardano's platform. So as a result, now, just based on the work that I've done, now I get to have my own television show on his network, educating people about finance, credit, real estate investing. And again, this is coming from somebody that grew up poor, came to America with $257, but over time, I put in the work, invested in myself, and we're here now, right? So say this with me. I would have the confidence needed to continuously pursue my destiny. Let's say it one more time. I would have the confidence needed to continuously pursue my destiny.
I will have the confidence needed
to continuously pursue my destiny.
You need confidence. Everything starts with confidence. Most of the times people aren't confident is because they don't know what they're talking about. If I ask you about your life right now, would you be in up? No. You're just going to tell me about your life. Whatever it is that you decide to do, you got to get so good that they cannot deny it. You got to get so good that somebody asks you a question that you can be able to answer that question, because that's what's going to lead to you becoming successful. So remember this, guys. Never compare yourself to others. Don't waste your life. Time is precious. Right? I remember, man, I'm 35 years old now, and I honestly wish I was 25. If I was 25 right now with what I know, ooh. But again, I'm not making any excuses. I'm just going to be building from this point on. Right? So don't waste your time. Time goes by really fast. Time is precious. You cannot get time back. You can lose everything, but you cannot get time back. Right? Take advantage of opportunities. When an opportunity presents itself, take advantage of it. Right now, you guys have an opportunity to go out there and get your degrees. Yes or no? You want to make sure that you seize that, because you just never know when you're going to need it. You want to make sure that you get all the experiences, gain all the knowledge that comes with that. Don't just have a degree just to say you have a degree. Make sure that you're learning and have a game plan. What am I going to do after this college degree? What am I going to do with this? How will I implement it in my life? Right? Surround yourself with individuals that inspire you to dream bigger. You got to get around people that's doing better than you. Not to hate on them, but to learn from them. You are the sum total of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. You are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So as you're growing in life, you will start seeing this. You start dividing the incomes of the people that you spend the most time with, and you're going to realize that you're going to get average your income. So if you want to stretch yourself, what I started doing, I started hanging out with people that made more money than me. 100,000. I remember when making $100,000 a year, I was excited. And for most people, that is exciting. It's a great place to be. You're making $100,000 in the United States, guess what? You're in the top 5% of the United States. Top 5%. But I want you guys to stretch a little bit. How about you make $100,000 in a month? How about you make $100,000 in 2 weeks? Or in a week? Or in a day? Right? It's possible. But guess what? You got to put in the work. You got to prepare for that to happen. Not hope and wish that you're going to win the lottery. You got to put in the work, right? There's no finish line. A lot of people feel, oh, just because you have a degree, that means that life is just going to hand stuff to you. No, it doesn't work like that. There is no finish line. After you get that degree, you still have to put in work. 75% of the population is working in a field that they didn't even study in college. So guess what? Which means that you're going to have to unlearn and relearn. Or you're going to have to use some of the skill sets that you learned in college to apply it in that new job or that new line of work. Or, you know what, you start business, you start doing criminal justice right now, and 2 years later you say, you know what, I want to do business. I don't want to do criminal justice no more. Guess what? You got to learn. You got to relearn. And most people get stuck because they hang their degree on the wall and they just say, oh, I have a degree. But again, you're competing with people that have degrees and experience on top of that. Okay? So you got to keep reinventing yourself at all times. You got to ignore the noise. A lot of people are going to say a lot of things. You got to ignore the noise and stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish. You got to invest in you and not just your education. You got to invest in you and not just your education. You got to find different ways to leverage your time, to leverage your money so you can actually start making more money in the long run. So to stay connected with me, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Ashton M. Henry. And on Facebook, Ashton M. Henry. That's my website. If you guys want to pick up the book, The Chemistry of Credit, you guys can pick up the book there. And thank you guys for your time. Can I just get a picture with you guys? Are you guys gonna get excited or what?
Make sure you send me over here.
You want it today? I'm going to be moving on to the next.
Thank you guys.
Talk past that too, boy. Talk past that. Real quick. Can we give a round of applause one more time for Mr. Ashton Henry? We want to present him with this plaque. Today it says, on behalf of the FCSA Incorporated, in appreciation and thanks to Mr. Ashton Henry for your involvement as the keynote speaker at the Florida Caribbean Student Association's 45th Annual Conference. Thank you so much. All right, let's get everything started.